Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to be making a scene featuring some flowers and a picket fence, and I'm going to be using the stamp set called Ribbon Flowers by Clearly Besotted. I don't know that this stamp set is available anymore, but you could use really any type of flowers stamp set that you have. So I'm starting off with some 130-pound cardstock. This is Not Your Mama's cardstock by Brutus Monroe. I'm going to move all of my little inks here over to the side. I'm going to be using my Misty and going to be using some masking. So I already cut my masking paper out already, and I have everything here ready to go. Just need to grab my Misty. And I'm not sure if this is going to end up being a thank you card or a birthday card. It'll be one or the other. Okay, so I'm going to use this piece of, this is 130 pound. I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to make sure that I'm in the screen. No, my Memento inks are getting in the way. So let's move these. Don't want to be cut out of the screen. Okay. The first flower that I'm going to stamp is this rather large, I think it's called hollyhock. I think it's either that or it's, yeah, the way it's really tall and the way it stands like that, I think that's called hollyhock. I'm going to be using cutouts of this picket fence. This picket fence comes from Simon Says Stamp Mandy's Flowers. Okay, so I'm going to bring that down just a little bit because my idea was to not use the entire picket fence, but just the up to a certain level, maybe just have it at that point, not use this bottom part. So I think that's where I want to go. So I'll start with my Memento ink, and the color that I'm using is Danube Blue, and I don't want this to be off the side. I know sometimes when we make our cards, we let the thing that we're stamping kind of hang off the side, but in this case, that's not what I'm aiming for. Okay, I just want to make sure it's straight. Well, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. All right. Now, these inks are really bright and colorful. I think this is the very strong blue. Grab my microfiber towel. Getting some ink off there. I don't want that to get on my paper. Okay. I'm gonna ink that again just to get a better saturation. It's a little splotchy. These are photopolymer stamps, but they're probably older, so I don't know if that has any reason that would play into the fact that they're not really solid, or it just might be the style. You know, they're not meant to be really solid. Either way, if I stamp a couple times there, I'm getting a nice solid image. All right, so I'm gonna hit that with my heat gun real quick. I just want it to be dry before I lay the stamp down. Now for masking paper, not stamp, but masking paper. For this masking paper, I'm just using Post-it paper. This is the super sticky Post-it paper. It's a little thin and it tends to tear quickly, but for the purposes of getting something and being able to stamp once or twice with it, you know, it works out fine. I'm going to be using this larger leaf, and you really won't be seeing what's down here. You're only going to be seeing what's up here. It took me a long time to figure out how to do layering with masking. I really struggled with it. I don't know if any of you ever have. So one thing I'm going to tell you, the flowers go first and the leaves go second. Just remember that if you're doing a scene with flowers. I did this a couple times for my prototype card and used this with I went in once with my flowers first and my leaves second, and then I went in another time with my leaves first and my flowers second, and clearly flowers first, mask the flowers, and then go in with your leaves on top. Okay, that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I just realized though, my fence line is going to be, I was thinking, yeah, my fence line is going to cover that leaf up a lot. So I'm going to go in with another leaf. This one might show up better. Yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and mask the leaf that I just did. Just mask it, especially paying attention to the upper parts because the lower part's going to be covered with the fence. And then think about where I want some green to be showing. Then that's where I want to put that one. Oh, and I also have to mask the flower. Woo! Otherwise, I would have just totally messed that up. Okay. By the way, this ribbon flower stamp set came with dies. So what I did was I used the stamp on the Post-it paper, and then I just used the dies to cut it out. That's how I was able to get these masks. I didn't have to fussy cut, in other words. All right, I'm going to use a different color green just for variety. Oh, by the way, the green I used the first time was called Bamboo Leaves. This green is called New Sprout. My Memento inks have probably been one of the best things that I ever purchased with my crafting budget, because you get such a wide variety of colors if you buy the 12-pack, and you can use them for a long time. I haven't had, knock on wood, haven't had to re-ink mine, so I've collected them and I've really been pleased with them. All right, so now I'm going to mask what I just put down. Okay, I think it's this leaf. And I'm going to go in with my next type of flower. And this is a type of a rose. And I want to make that red. And the red that I'm using is called Ladybug. Excuse me. I'm going to do that again. All right, next we're going to pick another type of leaf to use. And oh, first I want to put, yes, I want to put the mask over my rose. Oh, this rose comes from a different set. Okay, I was wondering why my mask didn't fit. This is a set of flowers that came out of one of those magazines that you get, like at Michael's or Joann's. It's called Design Objectives Ltd. It was the name of the company. I didn't save the magazine, but these are silicone stamps. Okay, so I'm going to just use the mask that I cut out for my other rose. I know it's not going to be a perfect match, but I didn't make a mask for these. I didn't mean to use that rose first. I meant to use it last. If I could speak today, it would be wonderful. All right, going in with the other type of leaf. Sometimes, depending on how many times you're stamping something, you might have to make more than one mask. I'm going to use the color Bamboo Leaves again this time. But I just have one mask for each type of leaf and flower. I'm hoping that I can make it work. That turned out really nice. That's a nice impression. I like that. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the rose that actually came with the set. If I can find it here on my palette. Because I have all of my stamps laying off to the side here. It's not looking like I can see it. I wonder if I accidentally knocked it off my workspace here. Just give me 1 second to look, because it is a really pretty rose. Oh, darn it. Now I went and did it. I must have bumped it off the... Okay, I'm going to take a look here and see if I can find it. Sorry, folks. Wasn't expecting this to happen. Really thought I had it all planned out and all laid out very well. But that's the problem with the photopolymer stamps. They're clear, so you can't really see where they disappear and run off to. If I can't find it here in 30 seconds, we will just go with the substitute rose. The one that I had meant for it to be the extra rose, not the main rose. I'm just checking my floor here real quick. Oh, I hate it when that happens. You know, when you lose one of your stamps from your stamp set. Isn't that terrible? Well, the problem is that I was working really hard to get this video done yesterday, and every time I thought I had a final, line in sight, something would happen and I'd have to stop and restart. And so I think as a result, I somehow bumped my rose off the table. So, oh well, that's my loss. I'm going to keep on here and peel up some of these masks. And hope that I can find my rose again someday. This rose is just fine, the one that I have here. Okay, it'll work. The next one that we're going to stamp is going to be another hollyhock. All right, so now I'm going to, I shouldn't have peeled the mask off the rose. I'm going to mask that again. Mask the leaves that there's two different sets of leaves and they look so much alike. Okay, now that's what I want. Okay, let me grab my, I think this is going to make a nice balanced looking card. It'll be nice and balanced. Even though it won't have the right flower, it's very similar to the one that came in the set. I think it'll be fine. Oh, it's a good thing I had that. Substitute. I mean extra. Okay, we're gonna ink that up again. Okay. Next, we will put some leaves underneath it. So I'm gonna grab the mask. Okay, it doesn't really matter. At the top, I'm not really focusing on that. I'm focusing on the bottom here. And let's grab our leaves. Okay. New Sprout. This is the color New Sprout. Alrighty. Let's have a look here and see what the final trio looks like. Oh, I like that. I think that looks nice. I have a small rose from the set that I got it out of the magazine that I purchased. I think I'm going to put that small rose in there to fill in a little bit of that space. So I'm going to have to mask Miss Hollyhock and this rose to the best of my ability because I don't have the right mask. I'm just going to do the best I can with what I have. And then we'll put this rose right between these two. I'm going to use the same color of red. That just gave me an idea. I might have to, I have some little leaves that I can fill in too if I need to. All right. All right. Let's see. It's always fun pulling up the mask and seeing the reveal, I think anyways. Okay. The other thing I have, these are from the silicone set. These are little flowers, and these are cute. They're like baby's breath, Queen Anne's lace even. So I've got a little bit of space here on the edge, so I think that would look really pretty on the edges, this Queen Anne's lace. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my mask again. I'm going to mask the hollyhock and mask the leaf. Okay, and these are normally white, but I'm just going to make it gray. Okay, let's see if that turns out. Where's my gray? Here it is. This is called gray flannel. I'm going to turn it sideways just to get, even though I'm going to be stamping over what I just stamped, it'll be okay because it's really a small, minor part of the overall scene. All right. And then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Now this one I could actually go off the card a little bit. I better mask that leaf so that I don't. Yeah, I'm going to put the mask over this. That way I can get in there real good with this. There we go. Okay, it's a little far away from the flower, so I'll just put it in again. I'll just go right over top of that. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to mess with this anymore. All right, I think it's nice and bold. The red, the blue. This is sort of like a red, white, and blue theme. Actually, I know there's a challenge going on right now with the Mod Squad, where if you make a red, white, and blue card, you are entered to win a $25 gift card from Kitchen Sink Stamps. So I'm going to use this one for that entry. If you're not aware of the Mod Squad challenge, let me take a drink here real quick. It's the Mod Squad challenge, and they have some every week they have a different brand sort of hosting the challenge. And like I said, this week the brand that is hosting is Kitchen Sink Stamps. I would love to get some stamps from that company. I think that's going to look really pretty. I'm going to trim the bottom of this fence right here. So I'm going to take my alcohol markers. I'm going to color in this fence. So bear with me real quick. This will only take me a minute because I'm not going to take a lot of time coloring this. I'm not a professional colorer, a colorist. Just do the best I can. And this is a rather small image, so it's not going to take very long. So something is sticking to me. Oh, a piece of purple tape. Okay. All right, just coloring in the slats that are going across here, the wood. I really like this picket fence here, this wood fence. So I think I might be using it again in future cards. I just like it a lot. Okay, go with a lighter brown for up and down. This is the first color that I used was E15 dark suntan, and this one is called sand. It is E33. So far it's my most favorite brown Copic marker. I don't have that many browns, but I like this one a lot. I use it a lot. Of course, then I make a lot of cards with beaches and whatnot, so that could be why I seem to frequently use this. Thank goodness for refills of you know, the ink refills. Okay. Actually, anything below the line doesn't matter because I'm going to trim this fence. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter than what it is, in other words. So what I did was stamp this with black archival ink, and then I cut it out using my brother's Scan and Cut. So that's a very, very handy tool to have. Actually, I got it for Christmas and I love it. I love to be able to color and then cut out using my Scan and Cut. I've also have used it for different, so I needed a stamp once of a giraffe and I didn't have a stamp of a giraffe, and it was to be a silhouette anyway, so I just purchased this SVG file that had like a bunch of African safari animals. One was a giraffe. Boom, I had my giraffe. Didn't have to buy an entire stamp set either, and it only cost me like $4 or $5, and now I'll have that forever that I could go back to in case there are other animals that I want to cut out with my brother's Scan and Cut. So it's come in handy, really it has. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now let's do the little part over here. Now, like I said, this is nothing fancy. This is just me getting this done because I know people don't like to watch coloring. They don't like to watch me coloring. I've received feedback on my videos about that, and I'm still learning how to, I don't know how to edit videos. I don't know how to fast forward during the coloring or pause, come back and say, voila, look what I just colored. Someday I will have that skill, and I'm just still learning. Perfect. Now let's grab our scissors and we're just going to fussy cut the bottom here. And it still looks like a nice sized fence, even though I'm trimming this bottom part. Okay. All right, let's grab the pretty flowers, pretty picket fence, or wood fence, whatever. And that little piece can connect together. I really like that, you guys. I'm really happy with this card. It's not really anything fancy, but it certainly, I think, is pretty. There is one more thing I want to do. I want to do some ink blending in the background with my cloud stencil. I love my cloud stencil that I had from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. It really does make the best clouds. So Let me grab my Distress ink in tumbled glass. All right, I should always say that I prefer this ink to make my clouds. I don't know, it's just a personal preference of mine. I found that it has been good to me when I use it, and it's had very nice results. All right, so let's go ahead and put some clouds in our background. Just taking an ink blending tool, and I'll sponge off the paper and then come onto the paper right up against to the stencil. This cloud stencil offers a nice long piece of vinyl here that you could use as a stencil. Goes all the way over here past my area of my card, so that makes it really nice because you can have such a nice variety in clouds. So there we've got that one kind of row of clouds. So let's go in here, and I'm just sliding it over a bit, and I still have a whole bunch over here that I could use. So I really like that. Some stencils are real short and doesn't give you much to work with, whereas this one is long, and it has diverse clouds, I guess you could say. Now, I'm not going to mask my flowers, and I probably should, but let me just get there first before I decide what I'm doing, because I don't have enough masks for all my flowers. I only made one mask for each flower. Okay, I'm going to try to be very gentle here and I'm going to use the stencil itself right here to avoid directly blending over the ink. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I still have coverage, and I'm not blending right on top of the Memento ink that I just put down. And then I'll just go in between, I guess, and not right directly over. And I think that'll be okay because, clouds have white in them. They're not all blue. Really think about it. The sky is blue and clouds are white. But for the purposes of our cards, we make our clouds blue. I'm not going over the ink of the flowers. I'm just going around each side, and that's what makes it nice to have this nice long stencil that gives you options. Okay, one more little bit of clouds here, and then we're done with that part. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's getting too close to the rose. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can just, there we go. So the rose is masked, and I'm still able to go in with my stencil. Wow, that worked out really well. Thank goodness for this stencil. I'm very pleased. All right. It's coming together nicely. My clouds look nice. Getting to the end here, folks. I have a piece of blue, navy blue cardstock from Brutus Monroe. It's called Midnight. And I'm going to mount my card onto that, my card panel. And then I'm going to lay my fences down on top of the panel. I could actually, if I wanted to, pop these up with tape to give them like a little dimensional effect. And then across the top, we have many happy returns, happy birthday, lovely lady, smile, you are one in a million, and big hugs. Those are the sentiments that came with this set. I think you are one in a million. I think that it can go well for a birthday card or a thank you card. You are one in a million. So let's go ahead and stamp that on right on top of the clouds. And then we will adhere our fence. All right, so let me grab my Misty again. I don't want to make any mistakes. You know, when you've come this far, you really want to take care. Be especially careful. At least I do anyways. This is the part where I don't want to. It's kind of timely to start over from this point. And you put so much time and energy. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see better what I've got here. Let's see what you think. It says you are 1 in a million. Let me put some painter's tape down so this doesn't pop up. And I have some real pretty blue ink here from VersaFine Claire. It's called Twilight. Oops, let me get it on. Yeah, I think I'm going to use that. It's sort of like a dark blue. I'm going to make sure my sentiment is lined up straight. Not quite. Yep, that's better. And I have a handle. This is a magnetic handle from Blue Night Rubber Stamps. Really makes working with your ink pads so much easier. I keep losing my microfiber towel, so I'm trying to wipe up the ink that I'm making a mess with. Guess I'll just grab a paper towel. That's really pretty. You are 1 in a million. And that could make for a nice thank you card. On the inside, the thank you sentiment. Or it could be a birthday card. Or just a friendship card. Alright, that's good enough for that. Be really careful with that ink. It takes a while to dry, I've found. Like if I touched it right now, it would smear. So I'm going to hit it with the heat gun real quick. I'm going to be very careful. All right, now let's get some foam tape out so we can add a little bit of dimension to our little fence posts, and then we will adhere them to the panel. Okay. This one is a little bit long. I don't know if I'm going to be able to trim it, but I'm going to try. Okay, so we've got that one. Okay, now I just have to do my partial fence here. Ooh! I just cut myself, I think. Holy moly. I hope my scissors were dull. I don't see any blood yet. Isn't that lovely? Whew. For real? Wow. That could have been a terrible, terrible mess. I just pinched myself with my scissors. All right. Let's get the fence down. We'll build our scene here. Oh, I think that's good. I think that's really nice. I'm glad I decided to pop it up on foam tape. It really makes a difference. Really makes it pop, stand out. Connect our fence here to the other part. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to stop now so that my video doesn't be too long. I do want to say thank you very much for coming and watching me make this card. I want to let you know that I appreciate you. I'm glad that you made time to join here, and I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, so that you can be and also click the bell so that you can be aware of other videos that come in the future. And I wanted to let you know that I have a blog, and it's called thehopefulcrafter.blogspot.com. I also have Instagram, which is Schultz551. I would love it if you would follow me there, and I'll follow you back. If you want to get a card from me in the mail, all you have to do is send an email to my Gmail account, which is thehopefulcrafter.gmail.com. All right, everybody, thanks so much for helping me make this card, and have a great day. Bye-bye.